Hello everyone, Namaste, Hare Krishna. Welcome to Gita study session. So in our previous sessions, we completed 13 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. And starting today, we'll do this chapter 14, which is titled Guna Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Traya means three. Traya means three. Guna, the gunas. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. They are three. So Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Krishna is going to talk about these gunas. What are these gunas? How they work? How they influence us? What are the symptoms by which we can see the gunas? And how to overcome these gunas? So that is the subject matter in this chapter. So when Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield, he spoke like a song. He sung this, all the shlokas he sung. He did not say like, I now I'll start chapter 12, now I'll start chapter 13. No, it was like a flow. He just sung the song, like a song. He recited all this. But later, when it was put together based on the theme on certain shlokas, so this was categorized into chapters. Okay. So before we enter to the chapter 14, we'll set ourselves with some context from previous chapters. And we'll see the overview of chapter 13, and we'll see an overview of chapter 14, some takeaway message, and we'll do few verses from chapter 14. Okay. So entire Bhagavad Gita consists of 18 chapters, 18 chapters. So in first 6 chapters, Krishna spoke Karma Yoga. Middle 6 chapters, Krishna spoke Bhakti Yoga. And last 6 chapters, Krishna spoke Jnana, that is complete knowledge. Whatever he has spoken in previous chapters, he elaborated in this section, last section. So when Arjuna was on the battlefield, he was reluctant to fight, was confused about his duty. He wanted to renounce the world. And he thought that is the highest thing he can do. That is the best way to attain liberation. And Krishna says, Arjuna, you don't have to renounce the world. You be in the world. Do your duty. Your prescribed duty in itself will lead you to liberation. Don't renounce the world. Change your mindset while working. Continue working. Keep your job profile. Whatever the job profile you have, keep your job profile. Continue your job profile. But change your mindset while working. Then work is a joy. Krishna says you work with a higher motive, with a great inspiration. That is to please the Lord. I am doing this work to please the Lord. Okay. My goal, why am I doing this work every day? Going to office or taking care of my family. Why? To please the Lord. That is the motive. Krishna says you work with that motive and do it as a spiritual activity. Just like how when we go to temple, we go with like fully dressed up and fully fresh minded, take bath, right? And the clean mind will go, right? So same thing Krishna is saying, like spiritual rituals, how we do, like with the pure ingredients. Right? So, that's what Krishna is saying. In our actions also, you consider as a spiritual activity, like a Bhagavad Aradhana, like a devotional service to the Lord, right? So you think about that in your mind and continue your duty. A selfless service to me for my pleasure, you do your duty. Okay, while doing your duty, you be fully focused, don't worry about the result. And in a success or failure, be neutral. Things will happen. Yes. As you are working in this world, things will happen. Situations will come through, go through. According to our karma, certain things will happen. Okay. So Krishna is saying, learn to endure those pains. Learn to endure those pains and try to be neutral in success or failure. Okay. Live in this world with a higher motive, that is to attain the Supreme Lord. My goal of life is to attain the Supreme Lord. The small problems are nothing. With that mindset, you work in this world. Be like a lotus leaf. Just like a lotus leaf lives in this world, but it is untouched by this world. Sorry. It's like a lotus leaf which is in the water, but it is untouched by the water. Lotus leaf, it is untouched by the water. Similarly, Krishna is saying, you be in this world, be untouched by this world. Don't get carried away by this world. Hmm? Live in this world with a purpose. That is to attain me. Mhm. Then, when you do all your activities, then there is a joy, happiness. You can happily work. Then you can come out of this ahankara mamakara, I and my mindset, and then you'll attain purity in your consciousness and mind. Yes, this mind, I acknowledge this mind is so hard to control and train our mind. So mind needs a practice to train. So what are the practices? Krishna gave the practice of dhyana, the meditation, the practice of meditation by controlling mind and senses. uh, One can control them. One can take the pranayama, breathing exercises, yama niyamas, rules and regulations that one has to follow. Meditative practices Krishna had taught. And Krishna also says that if we can continue that and advanced level, and you could attain perfection, you could attain self-realization by meditative practices. When Arjuna was a little worried, I cannot control the mind and senses. They pull me, they drag me. I can control the wind, but not mind. Mind. It's hard for me. Then Krishna says, don't worry, try to learn to control, and I'll give you an easy process to control mind and senses. Don't worry, you just dovetail your mind and senses. Okay. So Arjuna also asked, like, what happens to the person who starts a spiritual activity like meditative practices, but he leaves the body. He has not fully achieved the spiritual perfection. What happens to that person? So Krishna also gives the reasons. But see, looking at Arjuna, Krishna had taught this bhakti yoga. So bhakti is a means. Bhakti is means devotion, love. Love is a process, is a means to attain the Supreme Lord. Right? So bhakti means love. This love is natural within us. It's inherent within our soul. We get attracted to many things. We love things. Right? We love things. We love people. It is there. The love is there. It's not new. But the same love, when it is flown towards the Lord, mm, when the practices become intensified, that process is called bhakti yoga. So that by that process, one attains purification, and one can attain the Supreme Lord. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is in the middle six chapters many times says one has to have ananya bhakti, pure bhakti, undeviated bhakti, unmotivated bhakti. So such a pure devotion can make grant moksha. Krishna guarantees that. Okay, and the love may not be naturally coming in our mind. Maybe we never have practiced in previous life. So Krishna spoke about himself, his own glories, who God is, who this God is, what how the God exists. Right? So Krishna spoke many things about himself. Hmm? Um, and by hearing that, one would naturally develop attraction towards the Supreme Lord. And final six chapters. So this is where we are in. We completed 13th chapter and we'll do the 14th chapter. Okay. So whatever Krishna spoke in first 12 chapters, Krishna classifies, takes one subject matter, goes in deep in detail and give more details. Okay. So that's the process now, like in the last six chapters. Okay. So if you have missed previous chapters, no problem. Now it's a advanced study now from here on. So we'll see this chapter 13. Just a quick overview and try to recollect what we have heard or learned in the chapter 13. Okay. So this chapter, which is titled Kshetragna Yoga. Kshetra means body. Kshetragna, knower of the body, that is soul. Okay. So Krishna compared this body to be a farmland, a farmland. huh? And just like there is a farmer and farmland, farmer can ruin the entire farmland, or he could make best use of the farmland, and he could become rich by making best use of the farmland. So that is what Krishna says. Yeah, there is a body and soul. Body is different, soul is different. Soul got a body. Soul got a body. He could make best use of the body and he could make worse use of the body. So he could make best use of the body by cultivating devotion and good qualities. He can attain Supreme Lord, or he can totally forget about himself and get lost, in the bodily consciousness. So that's why Krishna spoke. What is body? What is soul? The differences. The body is the bodily composition, which is of 24 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, and so on and so, so and so. Okay, and soul is different, and body with mind, intelligence, everything are different. Hmm. So, but we are a soul with a body. We are a soul with a body. Are we conscious that we are soul? No. So, how can I attain the awareness that I am soul? Krishna says, cultivate good qualities. Hmm. Pridelessness, humility, tolerance. So, cultivate good quality. He gives a big list. Okay. And one of the item in that list is Mai Chananya Yogina Bhakti Avyabhicharini. Krishna says, if you cultivate one of the quality, that is loving God, being devoted to the God. Okay, so such quality is most beneficial and it's more helpful. So by which one can come out of this bodily consciousness, he can realize that he is soul. Okay, and the and later Krishna talks about the nature of the super soul. Okay, so nature of the super soul, like along we are a soul with a body. Okay, in our body, there is also one more personality, that is super soul, who resides in the heart of every living being. So Krishna talks about that super soul, the nature of that super soul. Okay, so he is present everywhere. He can do anything he can do anything. In our conditioned state, we need limbs to walk, but but God doesn't need a limbs to walk. He can do anything by His own sweet will. Okay, He's here. He's in spiritual world. He can do anything. So Krishna gives a big list there. Okay, and finally, Krishna says there's a most important thing in this chapter. Or in this section, that okay, you are a soul. You are a part and parcel of me. You have the potential to attain a nature like me. You have a potential to attain a nature like me. Hmm? That means we don't become God. Krishna never say like you become God, you become Bhagavan. No, Krishna did not say that. Krishna says that you have a potential to become like me, like when we go to the spiritual world. So we don't go through these birth, death cycles, no aging, no hunger, none of those things. So the one can attain a soul can attain a nature like that in the spiritual when soul reaches the spiritual world, right? So we have the potential, right? But we are forgetful of the fact. We are forgetful of the fact and carried away in these bodies. Okay. So what is that which is causing us to forget our own real identity, and what is that which is blocking us to attain a nature like God? That is Prakriti. Krishna says Prakriti. Prakriti consists of three modes: mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Okay, they are eternal. Krishna says Prakriti is eternal, soul is also eternal. And soul, when it can't, in connection with the body, when the soul gets a body, this body is made of Prakriti only. Okay, this Prakriti consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. They further transform to earth, water, fire, air, ether, all these elements. So this body, physical body, is also made of these elements, this Prakriti. And it is because of that we have it influence of the three modes. We are propelled by these three modes. Okay. Purusha Prakriti Sthohi Bhunte Prakriti Jangunan Karanam Guna Sangasya Sadasya Dionishu Janmasu. So Krishna says the soul gets a body. Because of the influence of the modes, he attains a nature. Sometimes he's in goodness, sometimes he's in passion, sometimes he's in ignorance. Hmm? and throughout his life he attains a certain nature. If he is in goodness, he'll attain a certain birth. He's in passion, he'll attain a certain birth. So Krishna did not explain that. Okay, what kind of birth he takes, that he explains in 14th chapter. So just Krishna said the guna is the cause of transmigration. According to the guna and his remembrance, that becomes the cause of his transmigration. Okay, so Krishna explained that in 14th chapter. There is a connection here. Okay, and finally, this chapter, Krishna in this last section, in the 13th chapter, Krishna says one has to see the soul and body are different. Okay, how they are different? How they are different? So, soul is in the body, but it is untouched by the body. It is all untouched by the body. Krishna gives example like ether, ether or space. So, space is everywhere. But it is untouched by many things. Many things are happening in the space, but it is space is a space. You can't delete or change anything, right? So soul is unchangeable. Okay, and Krishna also says even the soul is so minute, tiny, it has a potential to illuminate, right? So soul being in the body, which illuminates, so tiny, but still illuminates the whole body with the consciousness. Okay, so the soul is different, body is different. One has to gain this knowledge. Krishna finally concludes this chapter 13 by saying one thing, one important thing. That is, hey buddy, you are engaged in the body, you're trapped in the body and bodies. Learn that you're getting trapped, and find a means to come out of these traps. Find a means to come out of these bodily engagements. You have been going through many lifetimes, many species. So try to understand what's happening with you. Come out of these bodily engagements. Okay. So that's how Krishna concludes this chapter, and we'll go to the new chapter, chapter number 14. So we'll start with the takeaway message. So when we understand with a simple message, and we can elaborate and learn more, right? So what is the takeaway message from chapter 14? What Krishna is teaching in this chapter? Okay, so in this chapter Krishna says understand. So in chapter number 13 Krishna says modes are the one which is propelling the soul to function, and they are causing to rebirth. What are the modes, how they work? Krishna taught in this chapter. Okay, learn how these three modes are binding you. Okay, mode of goodness is binding you, mode of passion is binding you, mode of ignorance is binding you. You're bounded by these three ropes. Okay, and learn the means to break free from this bondage. Okay, so you can see in this picture. So this girl is tied with this rope. Can she uh, untie herself? No, right? It is because she needs someone who is outside and who can untie her, right? So Krishna is saying, we in this spiritual world, with our own effort, we cannot come out of this bondage of modes. Only person who is outside of this, only person who is beyond this can unbind us. Unbind us. Who is that? God Himself. मामचयो अव्यभिचारेण भक्ति योगेन सेवते सगुणान samatiyetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So beautifully Krishna says, if you have unalloyed devotion unto me, I am the one who will untie you from this bondage. Okay. So one may say, like, why am I bounded, Krishna? Is that you are binding me and you are saying that you will also liberate me? So is that I am the cause of my bondage or you are the cause of my bondage? So we'll see that. It's not that Krishna is binding everybody with these modes, huh? and it is because of our own habits, living style, and many things. So those things we learn. Okay. So that means we need to learn how these modes function. Okay. So this is a subject matter in this chapter. Krishna talks about how the modes bind the soul, how mode of goodness binds, how mode of passion binds, how mode of ignorance binds. Okay, and recognizing mode supremacy. sometimes modes go high. Okay, again, because of many factors, sometimes like eating habits or many habits, so modes go high. So sometimes mode of goodness will go high, sometimes mode of passion will go high, sometimes mode of ignorance will go high. Yeah? They overpower each other. Okay, so who is the cause? We'll see that. Why that happens, we'll see that. And death in three modes and next destinations. If a person's nature falls in any of the three modes, okay, and as he is leaving the body, according to the nature he has acquired, he will attain a similar next birth. His next birth determines is determined by the mode he's in. Okay, if he's in the mode of ignorance, Krishna says, if in the mode of ignorance, he'll attain a animal species, he'll born among the animal species. If he's in mode of so much passionate, he's still in the earthly planet. If he has good karma, he'll attain a human body. But if he's in the mode of sattva guna, he'll attain a saint, higher planetary systems. The mode of goodness is high, then he'll be born among good people who are in the same mode of goodness, or he will go to the higher planets. Okay, so that's very, very important section in this chapter. We'll see. Okay, and how to transcend the modes, how to untie ourselves with our own effort, or how can we untie with the help of the Lord, untie or unbind with the help of the Lord. So that is the subject matter in this chapter 14. So this chapter, when I heard for the first time, it deeply resonated with me. Like I was like, really, wow. So it's very practical. Krishna gives various symptoms of these modes. We can see in ourselves what kind of person I am. I'm it's like we look at it, learn it, and we can apply it immediately on ourselves and see what kind of person I am. I'm in the mode of goodness, I'm in the mode of passion, I'm in the mode of ignorance, right? So it's easy to learn. It's not really complicated, it's easy to learn, and we can diagnose ourselves and see where we stand, and we can apply certain things to elevate our consciousness to the mode of goodness at least. Okay, so in our temple also, in ISKCON in temple also, if we were to draw a drama on Bhagavad Gita, any of the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita, if we want to do a drama like a skit, so this chapter, like the three modes of material nature, you mostly many people will pick this because it's easy to do. We can show three personalities, three human beings, right? So one person in the mode of goodness, how he talks, how he walks, how he behaves, how his lifestyle can be seen. If a person in the mode of passion, how he lives, how he acts, how he works. A person in the mode of ignorance, how he eats, how he works, how he thinks, right? It's easy to do role play also. It's really easy to do a skit also. So mostly if we do dramas or with the kids or many people are in occasions, so we're doing these skits. So we'll mostly basically pick this chapter, like what Krishna had taught in this chapter. So in short, it's easy. It's easy. It's not hard to understand. It's easy to understand, and we can see in ourselves where I stand, what mode I am currently. Okay, so slowly we are increasing our knowledge base in this chapter. So now we'll go to the entire chapter overview. If you don't understand, no problem. We'll go in detail as we go into the verses. I'll give a high level overview so that we know what is in the chapter, how everything is connected, how the chapter flows. So when you get into the verses, it becomes easy. So Krishna starts this chapter by saying, so I'll tell you the supreme knowledge. Supreme knowledge. Hmm? The knowledge which is superior than previous knowledge he has given about the soul, right? Is a supreme knowledge. And Krishna says, if you gain this knowledge, you can attain ultimate perfection, you can supreme perfection. Okay, you can attain a nature like me. Uh, and Krishna also says this. That's how Krishna starts speaking now. Okay, so Krishna says the entire cosmic existence is Prakriti, is manifested from Prakriti. Whatever we see in this world, it's a manifestation of Prakriti. Okay, So this Prakriti, Krishna says this Prakriti, into this Prakriti, he imparted souls. He implanted souls, and this is a process of creation, right? In the beginning of creation, Krishna uh, does everything so that souls get the bodies through Brahma. We'll see that section. Okay, we'll see that section today or the next section at least. We'll see that. So how that happens. So Krishna implants soul into the Prakriti, and Krishna says he's a soul giving, he's a seed giving father of all living entities. All living entities. Okay. And that's when Krishna starts slowly increasing the knowledge base. Krishna goes again, says that this Prakriti consists of three modes: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Okay. And these three bind the soul. These three bind the soul. How they bind? Krishna, can you tell me how they bind? Okay. What are its symptoms? How can I see, like I am currently being bound by mode of goodness? How can I see that? Krishna says, yes, you can see that. If you're in Satvaguna, if you're in Satvaguna, Satvaguna is pure in nature. It's illuminating. Illuminating means once uh, soul with the body, with the senses, can clearly understand. With the sense of vision, looks at it and understand clearly. Sense of hearing, we hear many things sometimes we don't understand because of not having this sattva, right? So when we are in sattva, we can hear and understand correctly. Okay, mind doesn't disturb, like we are not distracted by many things, right? When sattva is like clear, clear perception, everything is going nicely into our brains. Right? So we are looking at thing and we are understanding the things. It's all true perception and good perception. And Krishna says sattva, these are the symptoms of sattva. When the mind is clear, thought process is clear, your understanding is clear, and sattva binds. How it binds? It binds the soul by giving happiness and knowledge. Okay, it makes a person desirous to experience the happiness. Okay, and gain the knowledge of any knowledge basically. Okay, so that is the nature of Sattva and how Sattva binds. So propels soul to endeavor to look for happiness, experience happiness, and look for knowledge, gain knowledge. Right? That's the nature of Sattva, and that's how Sattva binds. So in the pursuits of happiness, in the pursuits of knowledge, we do good action, bad action, good karma, bad karma. That's how we get born. And Rajoguna. So what is the nature of Rajoguna? This is born of desires, unlimited desires and longing. This is not the desires for happiness. These are desires for possessions. Like I want, I have this much. I want more. I want more. Okay. Today I have this role. I want a bigger role. Okay. I want more salary, more that thing, more this thing. Whatever we see, we want it. Mhm. So if these are the symptoms, and is a continuous hankering, no satisfaction, continuous hankering. I want that. I want that. Why I'm not having this? Uh, so it makes restless. It makes a person restless. So these are the symptoms one can see in the mode of Rajoguna. So Krishna says this also binds the soul, propels it to accumulate, possess things, and that's how soul do actions. And in the in the pursuit of these actions, he do good karma, bad karma. He also gets born. Tamoguna. Tamoguna is born of ignorance, misunderstanding. Since Satvaguna, we can gain the knowledge, we can gain a knowledge, we can learn the things. It's illuminating, but Tamoguna is totally blocking, blocking. Is ignorance. So why that happens, we'll see. But we cannot understand clearly. Even when we are listening, we cannot understand, right? So or we are misunderstanding, misunderstanding. So sometimes we see many things happen, right? So we misunderstand something, right? This is more, and also the nature of sattva, tamoguna is the soul is like is more and more careless. Okay, whatever happens, I don't care. Who cares, man? Right? So this is the nature of tamoguna. And laziness, sluggish, lazy, procrastinate things. It's okay. Who cares, man? We'll do tomorrow. Or don't worry. Let me sleep. And sleep. Nidra. Nidra means sleep. Mm. And false perception, laziness, carelessness, sleep. These are the symptoms of tamoguna. Okay. So these are the different ways we can see ourselves where I stand, what mode I am in currently. Uh, uh, it's very practical. So these modes propel and condition the living being. Okay, and Krishna further explains these modes and says these modes overpower each other. Overpower. Okay, sometimes mode of goodness go high, like 80% goodness and 10% passion, 10% ignorance, or 80% passion, 10%, so like that, like in our different modes, different percentages. Okay. Yeah, and these modes overpower each other. Why that happens, we'll see. We'll learn all those things. Okay, so according to our our own lifestyle. Okay, it's not like God is pressing some button. Tongue, you become more goodness. Tongue, you become more passion. Tongue, you become more ignorance. No, God is not doing anything. It is according to our nature we have acquired from previous life, and according to our current lifestyle we go through. Okay, what kind of food we eat, what kind of people we associate with, what kind of practices we do. So accordingly, material nature, prakriti functions. It makes us propel in certain directions, right? So simple example, if you are eating more spicy food, okay, then it triggers more rajas in us. Rajas, so masala food, it triggers so much passion within us. Okay, if you want to try test it out yourself, you can do that. So 1 month, so eat certain type of food, then you will see. If you eat certain type of food for 1 month, 6 months, like a, yeah, we'll get to that. So, and it makes us more lazy. Certain Krishna talks in 17th chapter though those things, but certain food also makes us lazy and sluggish, right? So yeah, so our eating habits, our living habits, it's our own things, our past life impressions, all factored in for Prakriti to function, to make us function in certain way, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, right? So yeah. So, and Krishna further explains these modes. So, when the modes can be experienced, when the clarity in perception, right? So, when the senses are illuminated by knowledge, means we can hear correctly, we can look at correctly, we can understand correctly. Our thought process is good, our decision making is good, right? So, it's then we can see that's because of mode of goodness. When we have excessive greed, uncontrolled greed, intense endeavor, and yeah, uncontrolled hankering to enjoy through senses, right? So let me watch some nice thing, let me hear some nice thing, let me taste some nice thing. uh, uh, these are the symptoms of Rajoguna. hmm, Rajoguna. And the mode of ignorance, darkness, inertia, and carelessness, wrong perception. So yeah, so every living entity is bound by this because of their own natures. Okay, so what happens at the time of death? Hmm? So, if a person in the mode of goodness, he attains higher planets where the sages dwell, good people dwell, or even the earth planet where saintly people. He'll be born among the people who are in the mode of goodness. If a person dies in the mode of passion, so he'll be born among the people who are in the mode of passion, more passionate people. Okay, so and if a person dies in the mode of ignorance, then guaranteed he'll get a animal body. Okay, lower species, animal body. So it doesn't mean he'll be animal forever, no. Right? So he'll be given a chance to get a human body, and it continues its evolution. Okay, so after rebirth, Krishna also talks about this aspect. Like if a person is dying in the mode of goodness or in the mode of passion or in the mode of ignorance as he's dying now, so what happens to the next birth? He will be in the, if a person in the mode of ignorance dying, will he be in the mode of goodness? Person who is having the more mode of ignorance dies, will he be in the mode of goodness? No. No, less chances of that. So he'll continue in the next birth also. He'll continue mode of ignorance. Okay, so but he still have a choice. He still have a choice. Okay, to continue in the mode of goodness, or continue in the mode of ignorance or passion, or elevate himself to the mode of goodness or not. That is his choice, individual's choice. Okay, so for that we need a gnana, knowledge, right? So if you are not aware how these modes are functioning and how their modes are, within us, like, if a person has a COVID and we are not, and that person is not even aware like what is happening in his body, he cannot even and try endeavor to cure the disease, right? It's the same thing. So when we know this how these modes are working on us, then we'll at least work towards to come out of these modes. Okay, that's what Krishna says. So if a person can clearly understand these modes, how they work, and what are these activities, how they propel us. So if a person can gain knowledge, then he will work towards to overcome the modes. Okay. So Arjuna asked this question: how to identify such a person? Gunatita. Krishna is saying, become Gunatita. You overcome the modes. All three modes you overcome. So Arjuna asks this question. If I see a Gunatita somewhere walking in the park or in the stores, Costco store or any other store, if I see that person, how can I identify that person? He's transcended the three modes. If I see my neighbor, he has transcended the three modes. How can I? What are the things? What are the different ways I can see like he has transcended? Krishna says, yes, Krishna gives a list there. He basically says he is such a person is undisturbed. He remains undisturbed, with various dualities. Even though he's in the world, he's untouched by the world, right? So, and Krishna finally concludes this chapter by saying, um, yes, these modes act on you. It is impossible for you to overcome by your own strength. You can overcome by Mamchoya Vivicharina Bhakti Yogina Sevate. So if you develop unalloyed devotion unto me, I'm the one who is gonna unbind you. I'll take the responsibility to unbind you to come out of this bondage. Okay. And finally Krishna says, I'm the only means to deliver you. I'm the only means to deliver you. Only I can do that. It's hard for you to overcome by yourself. And that's how Krishna concludes this chapter. And 15th chapter, Krishna talks about himself. Okay, so we'll get into the shloka. Now that we have an idea, the flow of this chapter as we go through the shlokas, so we can relate. Okay, I'll ask someone to read the shloka.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानम् उत्तमं यत् ज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिम् इतो गताः. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection.
Thank you. So this chapter starts with Krishna himself speaking. Arjuna did not ask any question. Okay, same like ninth chapter also. Krishna starts speaking. He says, "I'm gonna tell you, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitramidam Uttamam, Pratyakshavagham, Dharmam Susukam Kartumagayam." So it's a king of all knowledge, secret of all secrets. That is unalloyed devotion, bhakti unto the Lord. Right. So Krishna says, glorifies the chapter before even he speak. Right. So Krishna is a good orator. He knows how to attract people, how to attract people. huh? That's why he's saying, "I'll tell you again, Bhoya again." What are you gonna tell me again, Krishna? The supreme knowledge. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the supreme knowledge, Parambhoya. So I'm telling the supreme knowledge again. So that means he has already spoken in the previous chapters, and he's saying this is also a supreme knowledge, which is superior to other knowledge. Gnananam gnanam uttamam. Gnana means knowledge. Of all the knowledge, uttama knowledge, superior knowledge. Okay? Krishna Singh is like is attracting us towards learning this chapter. Okay, Gnananam Gnananam Uttamam. And Yajnatva Munaya Sarve. If a person can understand this chapter, understand this chapter, then what will happens? Param Siddhi Mithogataha. Such a person can attain ultimate perfection. He will make best use of this human life. He'll go back to Godhead. Okay. Krishna uses the word Ignata Munaya Sarve. Munaya means like a saintly person. A saintly person. Who is that saintly person? Saintly person is the one who has saintly qualities, good qualities, and also who has good control of mind and senses. Okay. So Krishna is saying even a saintly person with good control of mind and senses, when they gain this knowledge, it will be easy for them to um, escape from the cycle of birth and death. So that also means, like, even though we are not a saintly person, but we have inclination to hear about the Supreme Lord. We have the inclination to hear about the Supreme Lord. What Krishna is giving, what Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita, we have some inclination. So some way we are also a sage. Even though we are not good at controlling mind and senses, yes, we uh, kept aside all our material things. We could do many things, like in 6:30 to 7:30 we all could do many things in our life, but we kept aside for a higher purpose, right? So we want to gain some knowledge. So we are also a munis, saintly yogis, right? So Krishna is saying, if we can understand this chapter, who can such a person can come out of these cycles of birth and death, and he'll attain the supreme perfection. That is, he'll go back to Godhead. Okay, this is another shloka. I'll ask someone to read.
इदं ज्ञानम् उपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यम् आगताः सर्गे अपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यातन्ति च. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of the dissolution.
Thank you, Baba. So Krishna started saying, like, this is the most important knowledge. The 14th chapter is the most important knowledge. When you gain it, understand it, upashritya means take shelter of it. Idam gnanam upashritya. If you can gain this knowledge and take shelter of it, that means bring it to the practice. What happens, Krishna? Mamad sadharmyam agataha. You'll attain a nature like me. Krishna is basically selling. He's pulling us towards this chapter, making us ready for this chapter, right? So that means we don't become God. We don't become God. That means we can. What Krishna is saying here is, we can attain a nature like God. We can attain the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world, in the spiritual destination. We can attain the Supreme Lord in this lifetime. In this lifetime, guaranteed. Okay, and Sarge means in the beginning of creation, like, creation, at the time of creation or at the time of dissolution. Okay, and is not born at the time of creation. No, no, these are the ways to understand it. When you come to my place, there is no rebirth in this material world. Okay, so that's what Krishna is saying. In this creation, in this cosmic existence, in the material world, 8th chapter Krishna covered very nicely. Okay, and the soul is the body. Wherever it goes, whatever the planetary system within the material realm it goes, it will take birth again and again, again, again in different species. Okay, and but if a person transcend this and attain the spiritual world, okay, there is no creation. Okay, there is no creation, no destruction, no pain, no hunger, no thirst. Okay, and no death. We can attain whatever we want. Huh? So that's called sadharmyam. Can attain whatever that nature we can attain. It's like we are so rich, but we are forgetful of our richness, and we are living poor. We are living poor. So, okay. So in next 7 minutes, we'll see this process of creation, destruction, and we'll try. I covered this in previous sessions. We'll have a quick recap. So, so from the takeaway message from this chapter is when a person takes shelter of the knowledge, when they take shelter of the knowledge, knowledge itself lead to higher perfection. So we take shelter of many knowledge in this world, mm, and we gain the knowledge, we'll practice it, apply it in our life, right? Same thing what Krishna is saying. You gain this knowledge, knowledge chapter 14. Okay, then you can attain ultimate perfection. So you can see entire cosmic existence, entire everything, entire existence, which includes spiritual realm and material realm. Okay, you can see in this picture. So spiritual realm is three-fourth of the entire existence. Three-fourth is so huge. Okay, our Earth itself is so huge. Our Earth itself is so huge, but in compared to Sun, it is so tiny. It is so tiny in compared to SUN sun, not SON sun. In compared to SUN sun, so Earth is so tiny, right? So similarly, this universe bubble, which consists of many planetary systems, 14 planetary systems, is very nicely described in Srimad Bhagavatam. The entire universe consists of many 14 planetary systems. It is still tiny, which is only one-fourth of the existence. Okay, there is a bigger realm. That realm is called spiritual realm. Nitya Vibhuti is called Nitya Vibhuti. Okay, this is called Lila Vibhuti, and spiritual means Nitya Vibhuti. Nitya means that which is eternal, that which is undestructible, that which never destroys. Krishna spoke about this in 8th chapter also. Okay, Tadhama Paramam Mama. Okay, my world, my place is superior to any other place here. And in this spiritual realm, the modes doesn't work. There is only mode of goodness. It's a pure goodness. The mode of goodness, there is no passion and ignorance in. There is no influence of modes on any living being in this, any being in this spiritual world. Okay, only in the material world, only in the material world, which is made of these modes. That's why it is also any living being is influenced by these modes only in the material world. As long as soul in the material world is influenced by these modes, he'll get trapped, get rebirth again and again to this material world. Okay. So you can see in this picture. So in the beginning of creation, Lord brings forth this Prakriti and he glances it and impregnates Prakriti and after that impregnates Prakriti with the souls, Jivas. Krishna talks about in upcoming shlokas, shloka number 3 and 4, we'll see that 3, 4, 5. Okay, and just an overview of this one. And Prakriti consists of three modes, and later this Prakriti transformed into uh, this earth, water, fire, air, either these elements and various things get manifested. Okay, like Purusha, Prakriti, and Mahatankara, whereas knowledge acquiring senses, where earth, water, fire, air, either these elements and this tanmatras, sound, touch, form, flavor, smell, and various organs, everything get manifested. So now that everything is created, okay, Lord's creates everything, and God, Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he enters into these universe bubbles, right? So these bubbles are also made of these elements, Prakriti, and he enters into each and every bubble and becomes a super soul, make it function. Okay, so this bubble itself consists of these things you can see, various realms. These are very nicely described in Srimad Bhagavatam. I can show you a video later. So now that everything is created, like these elements are created, souls are ready in the very beginning. Then the task is given to Lord Brahma to further create. So God does a primary creation, Lord Brahma does secondary creation. Now that he got the elements, all the ingredients, okay, and he started from Brahma. Like what Brahma does, from Brahma many things get emanated, right? Emanated, like scriptures get emanated, and the souls also get emanated. So not many souls, like in the beginning of creation we can see Swayambhuva Manu. This is a tree, like Bhagavatam describes, he gives the names also. Okay. So um, for first 11 sages, they get they get emanated from Lord Brahma, and they started progeniting. These are called Prajapatis. Prajapatis. They started progeniting this entire universe. They were given the task to progenate the universe. Okay, and yeah, it's so many things here. Okay, so it's like it's starting from first Manvantara, okay, to the current Manvantara. Like it goes back to the billions of years. This tree. Okay? So much to study here, but we can do maybe next class in detail. Okay, so the creation destruction happens, okay, based on the lifespan of Lord Brahma. So Brahma lives for 100 years, so that 100 years equals to 311 trillion years. Basically, Brahma's 100 years is the time is different. When you go to the higher realm, the time is different. Even science also says that if you go to the higher realms, the time is different, right? So in the higher realm, the topmost realm, that is the realm of Brahma, that his time is, he lives for 100 years, right? So, and he oversees the creation existence, and that lasts for 311 human years. Human years is 311 trillion years. Okay, so compared to our life is nothing. We live only for 100 years or 80 years. Okay, so you can see, yeah, so and every day of Brahma creation happens, every night of Brahma destruction happens. Like, it's like Brahma gets up from the bed, he creates. So the creation enter existence, which lasts for 4.3 billion years. 4.3 billion years. So entire universe is lasts for, every universe lasts for 4.3 billion years. After this 4.3 billion years, what will happen? Uh, Only the top three planets will be remained. Brahmaloka, Janaloka, Satyaloka. Top three planets will be remained, and everything will be immersed in water. Everything will be destroyed. So, and Lord Brahma, like in the beginning of creation, again, everything will be brought back. Okay. Yeah. So there are four types of annihilation: Nitya Pralaya, Naimitika Pralaya, Prakritika Pralaya, Atyantika Pralaya. Nitya Pralaya means constant annihilation that is happening. Souls are dying every day, right? It's a Nitya Pralaya. And there is a change, like everybody is aging and dying. It's a Nitya Pralaya. Naimitika Pralaya, occasional. Okay. So occasional pralaya, that is like the day of Brahma, there is a partial annihilation. It's not full annihilation. When Brahma reaches 100 years, there is a full annihilation. Okay, entire universe get uh, destroyed. It goes to unmanifest state. Everything goes back into the body of the Supreme Lord, and in the beginning of creation, He brings back everything back. Okay, um, that's called Prakriti Pralaya, including universe and including the planet Brahma Loka. Also, everything will be destroyed. And Atyantika Pralaya is like the Pralaya that refers to the moksha. So when the living entity attains the liberation. So you can see, say Nitya Naimitika Pralaya means occasional thing which happens in the day of Brahma, like you can see in this picture. Like, so from the lower realms, everything but top three will be immersed in water. Everything will be destroyed. Okay. Even though we have big skyscrapers or whatever, everything will be annihilated. So that happens every 4.3 billion years. Okay. Um, and yeah, Prakriti Cable, I spoke about that. Okay, so I'll speak more about this in next session also. So I had less time to cover, but I'll go a little more, and I'll stop here. We'll continue our session next Wednesday, same time, 6:30 p.m. Thank you all for attending. If you have any questions or thoughts or sharings, we can take now. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So today, just a quick overview of what we did. We did an overview of the entire Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and overview of chapter 13, or high level overview of chapter 14, and also we went through some details in the chapter 14, so that we get an idea what is in the chapter 14, and we did two shlokas today. Thank you. See you all next Wednesday. Hare Krishna.